Chapter 16 Part 2 Gifts. After a moment with Jonathan, MLEZ continues, the time for battles nears, and Sabaoth has truly prepared you all for what is coming. For the next 6 months, now that they have received their gifts, it's time to teach them what Yael and I have taught you. After that, you shall see blood and death until you enter Tucson. After Point Adieu, you must leave this place and journey to Roper Lake in Cactus Flats, Arizona. You will not see me again until you arrive at that location. MLEZ disappeared. Wanyenyekevu and the rest of the warriors discussed what they had seen that day before, preparing for the next day, and they all rested. Wanyenyekevu laid down for the night and wrote, I realized. It would seem hard. So, one might think. But yet and still. I ask. Why are there so many questions about life with very few answers? There are some who put their trust in others. Then I realized this not for you, but for myself. There will never be any more answers. And if there are, they will be made up of men. So, I thought. Yeah. Search my heart. Not man's word, for they perish. Not philosophy, for it's just playing with words. Not law. For man's laws, it's so perverted. You see, I realized. And you just might not, especially at this time. It's not something on your mind. But when you do, will you humble yourself? Or simply call it craziness? May your help come. Many think that this help that I got is not. I realize that greater is he that is in me than he who rules the world. For he who rules with pearls, greed, hatred, anger, and lust. I realized. Pearls, for the values it brings. That money that it creates causes greed. And greed causes hatred. Then anger. Yes. I say. Then lust is conceived. I can go on, but to understand me is to understand he who sent me. To many it sounds strange, but hell, I'm peculiar. To the mind of the carnal, even he that is flesh, is just that. Flesh. But let me say, he that is of the Spirit, can see the power, the glory. Forever. Amen. I realized. After I searched my heart, did my part. I found that every man is a liar, and only one is the truth. So, until you find that power, that glory, life will be confusing to you, hard, and let's not forget painful. Open your heart, open your eyes. So, you can say, hey. I realized. The next day everyone was curious about what happened to Jonathan when MLEZ appeared to them. Knowing this, Jonathan gathers everyone together. I know you guys are wondering what happened yesterday. Well, the day before, or was it a few days before, I can't remember. Anyways, before we came to Las Cruces. He paused. I was a bit of a jerk, and Wanye had told me something about a wolf. He said some shit about, if you teach a wolf to be a dog all of his life, would he not know how to be a wolf? But he continued by saying, deep inside, that dog would know something is wrong, but he will never know unless he is told that he is a wolf. Well, a day or two after meeting your family, no, it was the night that we heard the great explosion. He paused again, looking at Ibrahim's children. No, now I remember. It was the night after your father's death. Anyway, I had a dream that was so real, a vision if you will, and in it, I was back home in South Carolina. I saw myself as a stray dog begging for bread, being kicked around by compitans and surrounded by prostitutes, pimps, drug dealers, and the likes. After a while, I started hating myself and hating compitans. I started attacking and biting everyone so no one would kick me around again until everyone feared me. Then one day, I found myself in the middle of the forest, and an old man looked at me and said, "Are you finished?" He grabbed me, took me into the forest, and told me to pick a group to live with. I saw bears, snakes, wolves, and I saw dogs. So I picked dogs because I was a dog, but I felt useless and didn't have anyone to fear me. So I started leading a pack of dogs and killing off the rest of the animals. But I couldn't kill the pack of wolves. I tried but was unsuccessful, and the old man returned and took me by the river and told me to look at myself, and I looked into the river. I saw a dog. But the old man took a stick, hit the waters, and told me to look again. And I was a wolf. That old man was MLEZ. Jonathan started crying again, wiping the tears from his eyes. Yesterday, MLEZ whispered in my ear, "You are now a wolf." Wanyenyekevu looked at Jonathan. "No, you were an asshole." Everyone looked at Wanyenyekevu with shock and laughed. Jonathan laughed. "Now, That's the best one yet. You're getting good at snapping back. They said karma is a bitch. They talked for hours before they trained in Point de Dieu, now more spiritual than carnal. They could understand and complete the training efficiently. 1.5 years at that location they walked in as children and came out as Sabaoth's warriors, and during that time Wanyenyekevu wrote a series of poems before he left. Now 20 years old and with a new family, he felt very close to the group and wanted to share his thoughts and poetry. Please gather around for some of the poetry I have written since being here. The group gathered together as he said, this is titled Meditation. Clearing his throat. Meditation, concentration, consecration. We as believers do things of this nature to increase our faith. But there are times when you don't feel this way. You're the sons and daughters of a king. It was said, let us create man in our own image. That's why some say we are gods. We are a dynasty, an empire that has been beaten down, tried, and even frustrated at this life. Yes. Even with the pain, your faith is being tested. Your patience has to grow, has to glow. A fool believes God isn't there. A fool thinks God doesn't care. But the only thing that helps me understand is consecration, concentration, and meditation. He flipped a few pages. This is, look-a here. Look-a here, look-a here. A place beyond the sphere. Streets of gold, and fear is never near. Love is everywhere. Peace and serenity whisper from the trees into my ears. No evil, darkness, nor pain. No cries from the eyes that you love so dear. Holy, holy, holy is all you hear. Look-a here, look-a here. He flipped a few more pages. I like this one. If I only knew then what I know now. Remembering my youth. There were so many questions in my mind. All the time. Talked to so many people asking them. Many didn't give an answer. For they were asking the same questions. So I chose to ask the elders. They answered some. But not all. Some of the answers puzzled me. Through time a lot of the answers appeared to me. If I only knew then what I know now. Nature, women, education, money, and history. A list of the few things that puzzled me. They were on my mind at that particular time. Love, hate, jealousy, and envy. So many questions but not enough answers. If only I knew then what I know now. Would it have made me a better person today? And lastly, he looked at Jonathan, smiled, and read them stuck on stupid. Jonathan said, hold on now. Wanyenyekevu laughed. Is a hit dog hollering? Why do you all of a sudden think I'm writing about you? Let me finish and let the others decide, okay? Jonathan gave him a funny look. Wanyenyekevu laughed again before he cleared his throat again. Walking through the countryside to ease my mind. About these times that are at hand. The silly demands of humans. Of men. Everyone's path is not the same. Everyone that calls on his name. Are they not really serious? Or is it only for monetary gain? To each individual, it's a different thing. To many, it's a game. My weaknesses are not your weaknesses. So, how can you endure my pain? Throughout my journey, I've experienced things that I did not know, I now know. I did the things I was told, but it was by their judgments, their decisions, and their life. It was not my own. This is why I feel the way I feel. Yes, I do the things I do at this time, dealing with the many things in my life that we all must consider before it's the end of time, love, faith, hopes, and beliefs. Let's not forget grief. Just the things only I, consider right and wrong. To someone else it's a different song. I've seen death a total of 3 times. The sight was enough to change my mind. You see, as a youth, I always listened to the men of old, the ones hanging on the corner drinking Underbird and Wild Irish Rose, 'cause they were older than me, you know those kinds. They knew something I didn't. They were willing to share. I listened to them when I was there. They were older than me and had something I wanted. Knowledge. Many said, don't hang with those men, but the things that they said made me who I am. I was confused until I realized that that life that they lived was not for them, it was not for me. Had to sit still long enough to see, not to say, that what they said wasn't true, it was because of their decisions. They were blue. Yes, something that made a little more sense to me. I couldn't open my mind to breathe, open my mind to see. At first, I was concerned a little thug of a lesser degree. I wasn't trying to be greedy, just pay the bills. Trying to eat. One thing led to another, ran to a new way. I wanted to be a helper, a guide, so that one day, when I have a son, he wouldn't see the things that I have seen through my eyes. I wanted a lover, wanted someone to be a mother, nowhere to really call home. I still was pretty much on my own. But there were friends and family who had my back. I needed something to do in my spare time. So, I started writing my ideas, my thoughts, on the paper. Maybe someone will read them later. I didn't notice, but someone had stopped to stare. She opened her mouth. I loved what came out, so I inquired of her, if she was true, could this be the mother? Hell, even a lover. Because of her, I'm saying this to you. At an age, now, to settle down from such a long journey. I've traveled far and wide, traveling in search of the three keys, as wide as the deep blue sea. Searched. 'Cause I needed someone to comfort me, assist me, help me, confront me. Who was sent by the Almighty above, some might say Cupid. 'Cause until now, I was stuck on stupid. Wanyenyekevu closed his book and asked, "So, what do you think, Jonathan?" Jonathan walked off. It was okay, I guess, I like it. You still get on my nerves. Wanyenyekevu smiled. Yeah, I love you too.